Derby Day, race by race preview. Paul Lally, of course, is here to find us some winners hopefully along the way, with the first getting underway earlier start time too on Sunday 12:45, because we do take in a simulcast race from Japan featuring our very own Victor, the winner. But the first race is a Class 4 over the 1200 metres, Fun and Glory. He's coming back in distance and was scratched on the 18th of February, also with a heart irregularity. Musco's placed 2 from 5, course and distance. Circuit 10 is now with Cody Moe. Devano is on debut and has had 4 trials. Super Bonus has the tongue tie on for the first time. Island Golden wears blinkers for the first time, and Go Hero has the addition of a tongue tie. Across to the speed map here, Paul, and Super Bonus goes forward, but so too does Massive Talent. And Devano has shown some speed in the trials.
He has gone forward. Unfortunately, he's drawn barrier 12, so he just might find it difficult to get across. Island Golden's another one that can go forward. When he won his first race, first couple, he sort of led all the time, but he's happy to take a sit these days. Must Go, and I thought that Geneva, who's likely to start favourite, he should get a good run.
Must Go is in our first replay amongst 3 others. He ends up running 3rd in this race. Super Bonus fades, Strathbarry 7th, and Go Hero disappointing out the back. Is Must Go the pick of this 4?
He is, definitely. And look, you can see him looking for a gap. It did take him a little while to get out. Once he got out, he finished off the race really nicely here for 3rd behind Skyheart, who's going to start in another race later. So it was a really good run from him. Must Go. He's drawn nicely in barrier 4. He's got the services of Zach Purdon. So I'm sure Zach's looking for a big day here on Derby Day, and he could start it off with this horse. I think he'll run well.
And that is Must Go. John Size, of course, with a number of chances in the Derby, trains him. This horse, Paul, actually beats Must Go home since Must Go has come out and run 3rd in that replay that we just saw. So the format of this race is good. His name is Geneva. He's had 2 starts for 2 placings, beaten favourite both times, but he's quite a sizable horse. So with those 2 runs under his belt, can he go one spot better this week?
Yeah, I think he would. I do like him. I think he's a very good chance, and he looks tough to beat on paper. So look, he finishes off this race really nicely, and look, I'm not sure what sort of price he'll come up, but from barrier 5, he'll definitely get every chance. So he's a leading chance for me.
There is Geneva, and off to the trials we go. This is Devano, who you mentioned in the speed map had shown some pace in the trials. He's had 4 of them in total. Lyle Hewitson and Francis Loy, the combination.
Yeah, barrier 12 was what did put me off a little bit. Look, he did what he had to do in this particular trial, and Francis can get horses to win up, fresh up. But from barrier 12, and look, it's hard to tell with this because they weren't really being pushed out at the end, were they?
No, they weren't. It was a very slowly run trial up there at Chung Fa, as we do see from time to time. Does Geneva get the job done? Yeah,
so I'm going to put Geneva on top. I think he looks really tough to beat. Geneva must go in there for 2nd. Happy for All, I'm going to put him in there on a 3rd line. Happy for All, he's got James McDonough on, and he had clear excuses at his last start. He didn't get any sort of run. And then Island Golden, blinkers on for the first time from the 1 barrier. I think he can sit just behind the pace. 5, 3, 11 and 13.
Hugh Bowman, who partners Helios Express, is Paul's selection to win the first on Derby Day aboard Geneva. Preview for race number 2 now at Sha Tin on Sunday. It's a Class 4 over the 1400 metres, and Skyheart just cannot draw a gate, but it didn't stop him last time. He won over the 1200 metres. 2nd to none, better draw, 2nd time at the distance for him. Good. He's had 6 trials. Soaring Bronco goes up in distance after debuting over 12. Fight Time comes back in trip. Travel Golf has the tongue tie off. Top Peak has the tongue tie going on, and Winning Gold flew home last time to run 3rd behind Only You. The speed here, Paul, has War of Courage and Skyheart getting across, a firm and 2nd to none, just off the pace.
Yeah, look, Skyheart went forward last time. He normally went back, and that was over 1200. So over 14 with a longer run to the first bend, I think he can get across there. War of Courage likes to go forward, and he has led in his last 2 starts. A firm's normally not far away, or a 2nd to none. Soaring Bronco, he was sort of midfield in his debut run and ran okay. Lucky Fion might be just a place closer because he's got a bit of draw now, Lucky Fion.
Winning form to start the replays, it is Skyheart. Paulie was good this day. He's had barriers 10, 14 and 13. Draws barrier number 12 this week, but despite that, has never missed a top 3 finish and dug really deep to win this race.
Yeah, won nicely, and this was over the 1200. Stepping up to 14, I don't think it's going to hold any fares. He's had one run over the 14, had a really tough run, and went back that occasion and was wide. He's gone forward and it sort of worked for him. So Blakeson rode him on this occasion. He's going to ride him once again on Sunday, so he knows the horse well.
He does indeed. Blake with a good book of rides outside of course, the Derby favourite Galaxy Patch, which is the reason he is here to try and win the Derby. Second to none, he runs 4th in this race. This is behind Loyal Bobo, who you're very keen on later. On the plus side for him, he has a much better draw.
Yeah, so I think he's going to get a really good run. He's definitely going to get his opportunity. He looks the main danger to Sky Heart for me. He's been very consistent, drawn barrier 1, and look, I mean, I think the horse that won's pretty special. So the horse that's run second in this race has come out and won as well. So the form is rock solid.
That's Arrow Invincible running second. We'll see him in the last on the program. We jump in the plane and head up to Chungfa once again to look at the trial of Good, who runs second here behind Super Legends. Ryan Moore rides, John Size trains, and he will wear blinkers on debut.
He's by Severbill, so I think in time he's going to need further. This looks a starting point for him over the 1400 metres. He's also drawn barrier 13, so he's going to have to go back, I think, from that wide draw as well, because he hasn't shown too much pace, early pace anyway in his trial. So I'm happy to watch him over 1400 fresh up.
That is good. And Paul is going to wait for him going forward. Sky Heart in the mix, obviously.
Yeah, I'm going to put him on top, Sky Heart. I liked him last time, and I'm going to stick with him. If he goes forward again, which I think he will, he should be able to get outside the leader. Second to none, should get that lovely run just in behind. Lucky Fion's got a better barrier draw, and he's caught the eye finishing off his races strongly. At Xenia aboard, just had the 3 starts to date. And then Soaring Broncos, just had the 1 start, and he ran okay. He ran 6th on debut, and since then his work's been pretty good, so he looks like he's come on for that debut run. 1, 2, 9 and 5.
It is the Blake Shin Casper Founds combination for Paul to win race number 2. Third race is over the 1200 metres here. We've got a class dropper at the top of the book, and that runner is Champion Method, who is unbeaten in Class 4. Always Fluke won off a rating of 49 at his sole win in Hong Kong. Fast as Rockets had 2 trials since having blood in the trachea at the end of January. Lifeline Express has never finished worse than 4th. Lucky Touch has had 5 trials. Silver Spurs has had 5 trials. And we've got Less is More with the hood off, Telecom Bullet with the tongue tie on. So too Lucky Planet, and Gangnam Style will wear pacifiers for the first time. Champion Method, Paul, it gets a £10 claim importantly too at the top of the book.
Yeah, I think the instructions will go to the front, son, and just keep improving with Champion Method with a £10 claim, so he can go forward. Lucky Touch is a debutant, but he's shown plenty of speed in his trials. Full Credit, I think, can go forward an amazing run. So they're the 3 that have drawn wide, but they can all come across together. Always Fluke, he'd be more than happy 3 back on the inside, I think, and Lifeline Express not too far away.
Much as I'd like to think of it, I can't imagine Denny Shum saying to Ellis Wong, go to the front, son. We're going to start with Lifeline Express, who's about midfield here, turning for home. Ryan Moore and John Size, the combination. He's been very, very consistent, Paul.
It could be the Cantonese version.
Some of your best work.
Look, he's going nicely, this horse, at the moment. He's only had limited starts here. He's had 5 in total, and he's finished in the placings in all 5. So, look, he's very consistent. I think there's one, I don't mind another horse in this race, but he's going to be very hard to beat. He's probably the likely favourite as well, and he'll give you a good sight.
And Lifeline Express, just the 2 goes over the 1200 metres for that 1 placing. The other time he did run 4th, and that was behind Champion Instinct, who's in terrific form at the moment. We move on to our second replay. Less is More makes up some ground here. He's minus the hood this week, gets a good draw. Hugh Bowman, Frankie Law with him. Full Credit runs 6th. He'd been trialling okay before his debut too. I
didn't think it was a bad run. He just just got a little bit tired, I think, in the last 100 metres here, because he was still running second at this stage. Wasn't too far away in 6th, Full Credit. So look, I'm going to put him in on a minor line. I think he can run well second up here, and his work's been good since.
And Less is More just getting into 4th there, and that's Sky Heart, who, as we saw in the preview earlier, runs in race number 2. This is one of the first starters, Lucky Touch. Jamie Richards trains Zach Purton to ride. He beats How Deep Is Your Love in this trial, so it reads very well.
Well, it reads extremely well, isn't it? With How Deep Is Your Love, probably one of the big chances in race 8. So I just like the way he really stretched out well here to finish off this horse. I think he's been well prepared. He's had the 5 trials. And look, the blinkers and tongue tie on for his debut run shows some intent for me as well. So I think he's pretty forward, and I think he can run well.
1 start, 1 win then for Lucky Touch.
I'm going to put him on top. I think he can have a debutant win here, and Jamie Richards has had horses come out and win in the past fresh up. Lifeline Express is the one with form on the board. Full credit, he goes in there for 3rd, just had the 1 run, and from the front, Champion Method. Keep going, son. 7, 6, 5 and 1.
Oh, too good. Race number 3 is the first leg of the early treble also. Luga Handicap race number 4, a class 4 race, and the distance is 1600 metres. Murado's on the class drop and has the blinkers coming off. Mr Dapper hasn't raced since early January. He's had 2 trials. Beer Palace, 1 start, was over the 1600 last time and he ran 2nd. That was his first placing. He also ran 5th and a 4th over the 1600. Round the Earth has the blinkers going back on. We've got Looking Cool, a 2-time winner at the trip. California Totality, blinkers again, and Royal Pride has the hood removed for the 4th. And Celtic Times and Joyful Prosperity. He might finally get some luck, Paul. He's raced wide so many times, Joyful Prosperity.
Yeah, it's a rush to the back for this race because there's no leader whatsoever. And look, neither Celtic Times or Joyful Prosperity have led in the past, but they've been handy. So I think by default they're going to be there. Murado has led earlier in his career, so he's another possibility to go on with it. Looking Cool doesn't like to lead, but he likes to be handy. And the rest generally get back. So there could be a little bit of tactics going on in this race.
We've got Beer Palace getting a good run on the rail. He's 3 back and he's in the same spot here, or in fact 1 spot further back, looking at the replay, turning for home. Celtic Times has been largely disappointing. California Totality went back this day. You've always had a bit of an opinion of Beer Palace as far as a winning possibility goes. Is this the race for him? Well,
I've got him in. I've actually got 1 to beat him, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did win. Look, he had his opportunity here to win the race. He came through onto the rail. Now, he did meet an informed Divas 12 who did beat him here, but they were well clear, so he's one of the main chances. And Celtic Times is a horse you can have on a minor line, but he's hard to have on a win line.
He's yet to win one. Is Celtic Times, beaten favourite recently a couple of times too. This was a big run from Volcanic Spark. He's miles back, turning for home. He does have barrier number 14, and as you said, he's going to be one of the ones that races to the back. He goes to the 1600 for the first time. That looks a good thing for him. But the slow tempo is not going to be a plus.
No, I mean, you know, there could be a mid-race move in this race if they do go too slow, because some of these horses in the back won't want that. And then the trainers could see it, and sometimes there's suddenly horses take each other on in front, and the pace suddenly materialises. But as you say, it was a really good run there from Volcanic Spark, and he hit the line really well. And Void Samurai's come out and run well since.
He has indeed. And this horse, Paul, you've got him up outside the speed, Joyful Prosperity. He's always running on 2. This is Happy Valley last time. He's going to have no issues coming back to Sha Tin because he has placed 2 from 5 course and distance.
I think he's better at Sha Tin, this horse as well. He had to go back here from a wide draw. He's drawn wide once again. But I just thought that might be a little bit more positive on him with the slow pace in the race and put himself into the race. So, I mean, he hit the line strongly there.
He did indeed, and it's a good long run from the 1600 metre start point, 2 wins.
Yeah, it's a race where tactics is going to really come into it. I do like Volcanic Spark. Hopefully he does get a bit of pace in the race, or he could make that mid-race move. Beer Palace should get a nice run on the inside. Celtic Times is consistent on that place line, and Joyful Prosperity, I think he'll get his opportunity back at Sha Tin. 5, 4, 7, 10.
The lava flowing to stop the beer flowing in race number 4 from Paul, the first leg of the Triple Trio. We step it up for race number 5, up to Class 3, and it's a good field, this one. It is a 1200 metre race with Goko Win at the top of the book, having the blinkers off. Kaying Rising, very promising, carries an extra £6 for his last start win though. Toronado Phantom, a 2-time course and distance winner. Prawns 11, Struth, he carries an extra £12 for his last start win. Solid Impact, an extra 7. Partiz, a 24 start maiden in this grade. Robot Master has the cheek pieces and the crossover noseband off, the shadow roll going on, and Call Me Glorious was an impressive debut winner in Class 4, Paul.
He was. Now he's up here into Class 3. I think he can get across outside the leader. Campione's obviously the leader in the race. He likes to go forward. Call Me Glorious did lead on his debut run. Prawns 11, he should get a nice run. He's up in weight. Partia, Ace 1 goes forward. Kane rising from 11, might just have to take his medicine with a bit of cover there out wide.
First of all, we head to Nick, who spoke to the rider of Call Me Glorious. It is Lyle Hewitson.
Well, Call Me Glorious is a ride for you on the undercard of the BMW Hong Kong Derby meeting this week, and couldn't do more than what he did on debut.
Yeah, I was very impressed with him on debut. Like I said, he had obviously trialled really well going into it, but the concern was whether he just had speed. And then his last bit of work, he just showed me something that he might have an extra gear. And then bringing that to the races, it was really good to see him muster up some speed and get outside the pace. And when I clicked him up, he found more. And I believe that when he was in front, he was still having a little bit of a look around. So there was a lot to like about that. And I think the step up in grade is no issue for him, considering he'll be down a little bit in weight too.
Yeah, indeed, obviously the handicap has put up to 61, so obviously he does just creep into Class 3. You've trialled him since as well. You ran second in an all-weather trial.
Yeah, the trial was, I would say it was just fair, but it was what we wanted to see because in the race, once I got outside the leader, he relaxed and dropped the bit with me and showed the attributes you need of a racehorse. And in the trial, we wanted to see the same sort of thing. We didn't want him to come out of that race and be aggressive. Showed good speed, and then once again got on the leader's back, and he just relaxed beautifully. So he's obviously maturing, and then his work out of that trial has been real strong and powerful. So yeah, he's done well out of it and should continue to improve.
It sounds like all the right signs have been shown from him. His form could take a timely boost. Obviously, the horse he beat, Geneva, runs in the first. No, he hasn't won a race, but he's run two very good races in defeat. He looks like he could get around pretty short in the opener and perhaps win that. So then he does get a better look on his form as the day goes on.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Geneva's easily a Class 3 horse. Like you say, he's just had things go against him. So he was a lot to like I said, about that debut win. And yeah, he's a horse that we just keep on top of him mentally and make sure that he stays in a good mind space, because he's obviously got the ability. So be good to be aboard him again in this race.
Sounds to me, Lyle, that you're quite keen on him. You think he's quite smart?
Yeah, well, he's a big horse. He's strong. He's done everything right, and so far there's not much not to like. So hopefully he can do well in this grade and look further later in the season.
Just finally, Gate 9 in an 11-runner race. How do you sum that up with him?
Gate 9 can be very tricky, but I think the map of this race could be okay for him. He's obviously capable of going forward, so whether he's leading him in or he's got one to take him round is okay. But I think that with his natural speed, he can overcome that sort of gate.
That is Lyle Hewitson. Paul, our first replay features Kaying Rising, who ended up getting the job done last time. He was a 1.3 favourite, only won by a neck. He'd been duelling with Wunderbar. He was 0-2 when it came to those duels with Wunderbar, but he was so close to beating him, and he won on debut. The way he comes up to them here, he's going to win by 3 lengths and only just gets home. What of him this week with the extra weight on his back?
Yeah, and look, he's drawn wide as well. He'll need some luck. I think he can get cover out there wide, or he can try and slot in. So it's not going to be the worst of runs. Look, you're right. He had to work a little bit. He's had a little bit of a freshen up. He hasn't raced for a month or so. So and he's had a bit of time in Chungfar. It's probably done him well.
He's trialled well up there too, has Kaying Rising. Off we go to Solid Impact. This was a very, very good ride by Alexi Bedell. He waited for the run to come. It didn't happen. So he just turned sideways, and when the horse appeared, he showed a very, very high turn of foot. As you can see, he's just held up here. Could that be the key to him? One very short, sharp burst late in the race?
Yeah, it could well be. This was only his second win from 28 starts, so he doesn't win them in a row, as you can imagine. He'd been racing well leading into it, and he really stretched out and won this race well. My query is whether he can put two together, because he hasn't seemed to in the past.
That's 80 light years that he just knocks off at the winning post. Prawns 11, speaking of putting two together. He was big odds. He was 41-1, but the Prawns have gone up 12 pounds a kilo for this one.
They have, haven't they? Look, he's going to get the best run in the race. I don't think this was a fluke. There was a couple of good runs previously with him. He's only had limited starts here. So, look, I'm going to include him on a minor line. The other one I'm interested in is My Flying Angel, because I just like the way he finished off here for 4th, and this was his debut run in Hong Kong as well, My Flying Angel. So I think he's entitled to improve, and he seems to have since then as well.
And that's good reports for both those two. So you're throwing a shrimp on the barbie on the minor line. Who around? Yep,
so we're going to go with Kaying Rise. He'll need a bit of luck from his draw. That's the only query with him. My Flying Angel, I'm going to give him a chance to improve. Did run nicely on his debut run there for 4th. Call Me Glorious. If he can get across and the rise in grade, then he's going to be right there in Prawns 11. 2, 8, 10, 5.
Race 5, number 2 for Paul, Kaying Rising to take leg number 1 of 6 Up. Race number 6 up next, and this race is a Class 4 over the 1400 metres, and Loyal Bobo, he won by 2 3/4 last time, goes up a lot in weight though to 135 pounds. Golden Darcy steps from the 12 to the 1400 metres. Holy Power second up for the season, and he has placed second up in the past. Circuit Mighty has the blinkers going back on. Link goes from the 12 to the 1400. Sky Trust wears blinkers for the first time, and Spicy Gold has a hood and a tongue tie going on. The speed, Paul, comes from Loyal Bobo. At work last time. He's won a trial from in front since, so don't change a thing.
No, exactly. Don't change the winning formula. Ariels likes to go forward. Double Wins another leader. He likes to go forward as well, but I think Loyal Bobo's got the superior speed there. Spicy Gold might have to work to get across. Holy Power be looking for a bit of cover as well. Circuit Mighty used to race right on the pace, but he seems to have lost his early speed. And Link didn't show too much in his debut run as far as early speed is concerned.
We go straight to the win of Loyal Bobo last time. Attached to the rail, went like a jet. As you said, Circuit Mighty normally went forward, but he's back in the field here, which has been the case for him lately. 135 pounds on his back, so it's plus 11. Derek Long riding in Japan this weekend, so Hugh Bowman jumps aboard. He loses nothing there, and Frankie Law trains, and you expect him to win again.
I just really like this win. I think it was such a strong win, and he sprinted off a fast pace. It was a real quickly run race. He just ran away, and he won really easy. Aero Velocity as come Invincible. I always say that wrong. Aero Invincible came out and has won again, and he's in the last race. I've said it 3 or 4 times.
Aero Velocity might push him a little bit if he was in the race.
He would definitely push him.
Now, the racing gods here, Paul, out of this race, Sky Trust, same colours, similar colours to what Sky Darcy used to wear, and Golden Darcy's a half relation to Sky Darcy, and they both come into the Sky Darcy handicap. If the racing gods are smiling, they should run 1-2 this pair.
I've got them both in, actually. I think he's on the improved Golden Darcy, and he's been racing at Happy Valley. He had his last start here at Sha Tin over 1200, and stepping up to 14 looks ideal for him as well, because we know, his brother did win the Derby. Golden Darcy, and Sky Trust has been racing well. Blinkers on him for the first time, so they both go in.
They both go in, and Spicy Gold's the last one we have a look at. Back to the trials. He wins this trial and he beats General Ace, who's a Class 5 horse but a recent winner. He's coming off a 5th last time behind Call Me Glorious, who runs, of course, as we just saw in race number 5.
He does, and look, he's been going some pretty good races. Spicy Gold as well. I like the way he really quickened up and won this trial. The hood and the tongue tie go on him for the first time as well. He's just got to overcome 11. That's just a little query. I think Luke Ferraris will be positive on him though, and try and get towards the lead.
Has he done enough to sneak in as the bottom one of the top 4?
Yeah, he has. Yeah, I've snuck him in as well. So I think we've seen all 4 that I like in this race, but I really like Lord Bobo. I think he'll win. He's just going so well at the moment, this horse, and the 1400 looks good, so he's on top. Golden Darcy and Sky Trust, the 2 we just talked about, and Spicy Gold for 4th. 1, 3, 10, 12.
Paul's best bet, race 6, number 1, Loyal Bobo. Race number 7 is the BMW Hong Kong Derby, and ladies, get ready. We've brought in a couple of hunks to give you the starters list.
Here is the field for the 2024 BMW Hong Kong Derby to be run this Sunday at Sha Tin over the 2,000 metres. And number 1 is Galaxy Patch, who's had the most unconventional preparation. The owners have paid the late entry fee, 1,000, 1,400 metres last time out. Willie Seagout, 2,000 metres from barrier 14.
Horse number 2 in this year's Derby is Helios Express. He's already taken the first 2 legs of the series, trained by a master who knows how to win derbies, ridden by Hugh Bowman, and let's relive his Classic Cup win.
He's out now, Helios Express, if he's good enough. He's had a quiet run. Cheng Glory, though, he has the lead. Half a length over Helios Express, who, if he's going to win it, is going to cut it fine. They hit it. Oh, that's close.
Horse 3, Helene Feeling, wouldn't settle last time out in the Classic Cup with the blinkers on. They've been removed. The cheek pieces are back on for jockey James McDonald.
Horse number 4 in this year's Derby is Chill Chibi. He's been making giant strides around Happy Valley. First go over this course and distance, and he will be partnered by the youngest rider in the race, Jerry Chow, at the age of 23.
Ensued made a very big statement up here in Hong Kong at his first time to the races. He's won over 2,000 metres, and he's got jockey Ryan Moore riding.
5G Patches piercing through the middle after Ensued. He's fighting hard here. He's going to rack up another win, Ensued. That's 3 from 4.
Horse number 6 in this year's Derby is Cheng Glory, narrowly denied in the Classic Cup last time out. He's a horse who's improved no end since his Griffin year, and William Buick has been flown in to take the ride.
Well, what a statement Massive Sovereign made in his first outing here in Hong Kong. First up 2,000 metres. History is against him, but he was very impressive in doing so for trainer Dennis Ship and Zach Purton.
Massive Sovereign joined in from a long way back and has just run on by. He's out by 3 over Holy Lake. Billionaire Secret runs on. 18 Carat against the rail, but Massive Sovereign first up in Hong Kong, first up over 2,000 metres. That's a training performance by Dennis Ship.
Horse number 8 in this year's BMW Hong Kong Derby is Beauty Crescent, yet to win a race here in Hong Kong, but he's got some very good form. He was 5th in the Classic Cup last time out.
Speed Dragon, he has won in New Zealand prior to arriving. He steps up to 2,000 metres. His jockey is Lyle Hewitson for trainer Francis Loy.
Well, I just like the fact that he's pretty uncomplicated and he's a very genuine horse. He's got a lot of upside. I think he's pretty unexposed here in Hong Kong. And we probably lack the class of those top ones, but where we lack the class, we have the tactical advantage of being able to do a few more things than them.
Horse 10 in this year's race is Unbelievable, very lightly raced horse. He's only had 2 starts here in Hong Kong, but he's got some very classy form from Europe, and he will be the mount of Harry Bentley.
It's all about, securing that nice position throughout the race and then just hoping that the gallop isn't too slow. So especially for my horse, he's a real out-and-out stayer, and he's going to want the pace.
Another in the race is Kaying Generation for trainer Pierre Ung, and he's drawn nicely in barrier 4. He has an advantage as well here at Sha Tin because he also has won over the 2,000 metres.
Horse 12 in this year's lineup is Elliptical. Might need to improve a little bit on form, this guy, but he's trained by a man who knows how to win derbies, and the informed Brenton Abdullah will take them out from a good draw.
Simple Hedge has drawn barrier number 6 for trainer John Size. The Frenchman Antoine Hamlin takes the ride. He's had 2 runs over the 2,000 metres at Sha Tin for 2 second placings.
And the final horse in this year's lineup for the Derby is Star Mac, a horse who his trainer David Hayes has a lot of time for. Karis Teaton will be the man on board, and David Hayes won this famous race some 21 years ago.
Those are the 4-year-olds to do battle for once-in-a-lifetime glory in the 2024 BMW Hong Kong Derby, coming up for decision at 4:15.
There they are, Tom and Nick, with the runners for the BMW Hong Kong Derby. So they've done the starters list for us, Paul. You can have a look at the speed map. Cheng Glory's going to get a really good run, you think, here?
I think he will. I think he can lead. Doesn't look like there's going to be too much pace on in the race. Beauty Crescent led last time. Look, I think they'll take a sit with him, though, because it didn't really work, and he is a better horse taking some cover. Helene Feeling and Ensued, now they're going to both draw wide. They're going to have to come across together. I think Helene Feeling can beat Ensued to that spot, but then Ensued might just kick on and try and put a bit more pace into the race. Unbelievable looks like he could be caught wide. Now, Massive Sovereign, Galaxy Patch, Helios Express, all the early favourites have all drawn wide. They're going to have to go back. Now, I think Massive Sovereign, if anyone's going to make a mid-race move, it could be him.
Got some replays to show you before we hear from Zach, and we start with Galaxy Patch, Paul, and he's come into the race late. They paid the late nomination fee for him. This is the Queen's Silver Jubilee. It was Group 1 company. He raced a week prior over the 1,000, went to 1,400 here, it'd be a masterful training performance, but everything Pierre has asked of this horse, he's done.
I think in time, I think he's the best horse in the race. But is he the best horse in the race on Sunday over this distance? That's the query we've got. The two favourites, they sort of were pushed wide. They were worried about each other, and you could see him come down the outside. Everyone forgot about him, and he just finished off really strongly. 2,000 metres is the big query, though.
It is, and from a wide gate, so he draws 14, of course. The horse drawn one inside of him is the winner of the Classic Cup, Helios Express. He cut it very fine to win this race. He's unknown when it comes to 2,000 metres, as opposed to a horse, say, like Ensued, who's up outside the leader. He races well at the trip. Ching Ching Glory took a trail behind Beauty Crescent this day, but you would imagine over 2,000 metres and on your speed map that the roles at least are going to be reversed with Ching Ching Glory keeping the lead.
I think they will, because Beauty, this is the first time Beauty Crescent had led. I liked him this day. I thought they might try something with him, and he stayed on okay here for 5th. But look, Ching Ching Glory looked the superior stayer in this race, the way the race was run. Now, if Beauty Crescent does take a sit, gets him behind, then I think he's got a better chance of winning the race. Helios Express had the perfect run. He's not. I don't think he's going to get that from that wide draw. That's anything. And Ching Ching Glory, if they leave him alone in front, he's going to be dangerous, I thought.
It took him every inch of the 1,800 metres to get past Ching Ching Glory, and as you said, off a perfect trip too, which would be a masterful Hugh Bowman ride if he can get him in there from barrier 13. Zach Purton is here right now with Nick to talk about Massive Sovereign after that stunning debut win.
Zach, Massive Sovereign, huge weekend coming up, of course, the BMW Hong Kong Derby. You've got a very nice ride by the looks of things, of course, and just going back to that debut performance in Hong Kong, it takes a special horse to do that.
Yeah, it's not easy to do what he did, of course. Hadn't been done for 25 years, but you know, he's a horse that seemed to take everything in his stride, and we felt he'd possibly be able to handle it, and he did.
He's had a turf gallop since. How did he feel to you in that gallop?
He feels good. It was a little bit soft that morning as well, and he wasn't out there to do anything too serious. He's just going through his preparation. He followed the work partner and did what he had to do. He slowly sort of took ground off him and just got there on the line.
What was quite telling, Zach, obviously, from that first run and win was just a sharp turn of foot. For a horse at the end of 2,000, he really did put it to bed quickly, didn't he?
Went past a lot of tight horses. You know, when horses are hitting the wall after doing a bit of work and you'd sit out the back, do no work and come around them, it can sometimes be visually a little bit deceiving, but he let down nicely, and he's going to have to be a little bit better again this weekend.
He certainly will be, obviously, with the quality of opposition. We've had the draw. Draw turns a lot of things on its head. That said, you're in 10, but 10 does have a good record in this race.
I haven't looked at that, to be honest, but there's nothing we can do. We're drawn out there. We'll just ride him as we find him, and you know, it looks like it's going to be another messy run race. They walked in the mile, they walked in the cup, so there's no reason to think they're going to go any quicker here. So it's just going to be another messy run derby, I think.
Won the derby from 12 from memory on Luger as well, so not unheard of for you to win from out wide.
Yeah, well, he was better than them that day, covered a bit of ground, faced the breeze and still got the job done. So that's what type of horse you need in this race.
Zach, I think I went back through and I think you've ridden 5 of these rivals, so you'd be fairly well placed to obviously judge the opposition. I mean, from your experience, obviously you've ridden in a number of derbies, of course. How strong is this one on regards to quality? I mean, we've got a horse potentially obviously going to clean sweep the series.
We've got a couple of horses there that look like they're nice horses, but the rest of the field look like they're pretty ordinary, and that's pretty indicative of the derby. There's a lot of horses that generally just make up the numbers and then filter their way back down through the rating system as time goes on, and you know, it's just what you come up against at the time.
There he is, Zach Purton, as usual, pulling no punches leading into the derby. Paul, it's such a race that has been thrown wide open with the barrier draw on Thursday. What have you decided is going to win the derby?
I'm going to go make it uncomplicated. The horse in front, out of trouble, Ching Ching Glory. As Zach said, I think it is going to be a messy derby. And as such, he can just sit in the front and try and dictate. I thought it was a really good run. He's a horse that just keeps improving. He's a real tough horse, a real likeable horse is Ching Ching Glory. So I've got him on top now. Massive Sovereign, look, he had that really good turn of foot. If the pace is too slow, I'm sure one of these horses will take off from the back. It could be him. It could be Chilchibi. He's another one that's going really well at the moment, and insured in there for fourth. It's going to be a wide open. I think it's a wide open derby, especially well with Helios Express drawing wide. So 6, 7, 4 and 5 for me.
The BMW Hong Kong Derby is race number 7 and start time is 4:15 local time. Race number 8, the Rapper Dragon Handicap over the 1200 metres. Post-Derby, we're on to the Class 1 and we've got Courier Wonder with the hood off at the top of the book. Duquai Pacifiers have been replaced by Pacifiers with Cowls. Nervous Witness last start winner over the 1000. Packing Treadmills a 5-time course and distance winner. Invincible Sage has placed 2 from 3 course and distance. And down the bottom, Drombeg Banner, all of his wins have been over further. He's coming back from the 1400 metres around mid-February. Nervous Witness speed here, Paul. WizKid speed, but 1200 metres for the pair of them is a little bit of an unknown.
Yeah, Nervous Witness yet to win over the 1200 metres, and WizKid as well, but they've both been placed. John Big Banner, now he's the opposite. He's coming back, isn't he, way back in trip, so he likes to go forward and lead over the longest. I think whatever happens, Packing Treadmill will get a perfect run. Adios won't be far away, Beauty Charge, and How Deep Is Your Love was impressive last time. He'll get his opportunity.
Nervous Witness was very good down the straight last time. He's trialled since, and Nick spoke to his trainer, David Hayes.
David, Nervous Witness, great to see him back to form last time out. I mean, that was a mightily impressive win. You must have been chuffed with it.
Really was. He ran to his trials, and he's a horse that always trials well with that terrific speed he possesses, but he wasn't converting into the races. But as we said, he had a problem behind, and we put some screws in a hind leg, and he's a different horse. He's the horse he was when he first arrived in Hong Kong. So, 1200 he hasn't won, but he's run a couple mighty races, and I think he's ready to. His trial in between runs was outstanding, and he's going well.
I guess it's testament to all the team and everyone involved, really, because you say, he looks as if he's back to his very best and what we're used to seeing him produce there early on. But, I mean, not easy, is it, with these horses when they go through something like that to try and get them back?
Yeah, look, it was a good effort by the vet department because he had a low-grade lameness, but it wasn't obvious. And they found this little hairline fracture in the hind sesamoid, screwed it, and it's fixed him.
Certainly has. Looked that way. You mentioned the trial. You sent him down to Happy Valley. Was that just a case of sort of freshening him up, keeping him nice and happy?
Yeah, look, at Sha Tin on the all-weather, he tries to over-race too much. Yeah. So we don't work him too hard these days and just give him trials in between runs, and he travels beautifully, and it's like a gallop. So I just, took him over there to give him the grass, really.
The trip is one that he hasn't won over just yet. Obviously, all that winning has been, done over the 1000 metres. We know he's got brazen speed, but we mustn't forget this is a horse who's been placed at Group 3 level over this distance, off of a pound higher. So, 1200 is now his time to win over it. Do you think?
Yeah. Look, in that group race, he shot clear and got pipped right on the post, and I don't think he was going as well then as he is now. Yeah. So, I've got a feeling if he can, run a good race here, he's in for a good back end to the season.
Yeah, great to have him back to form, of course, for the De Silvas as well. Your horses are racing really well, David, obviously. A couple of winners there at the Valley throughout the week and building up to a big weekend, so things are going really well.
Yeah, really happy how they're running. We've got a boutique stable, but it's going well.
Just on the Derby, just a quick line on your runner, of course, Star Mac. You've made no secret of the fact that you think he's a pretty smart one, and rightly so, because he's run 2 very nice races leading up to this one. Yeah,
look, we took a bold move and ran him out of the handicap in the lead-ups, which got him in the Derby off his low rating, and he's beaten and competed very well without winning against all the top 4-year-olds in Hong Kong. And the tempos in the lead-ups have been against him, and probably the distance. But now he gets to 2,000. And with a few good horses drawn out wide, I hope it's a even tempo in the Derby, not one of these muddling races. If it's even tempo, he'll be right in the finish.
Yeah, I mustn't forget, I mean, we're all a lot younger back then, but 21 years ago, you made history, didn't you, with a filly winning this race?
Yeah, I think she's still the only filly that's ever won a Derby, and incredible effort because she only arrived at Christmas and won the Derby now. So she was an outstanding mare.
Hasn't aged today, David Hayes, looking at the vision of that Derby there. He's got the biggest cap collection in Hong Kong.
He has. He's got some good ones there, actually.
Every time we have him on, he's got a different cap on.
He has. I like the Peaky Blinders one he wears. Yeah, it's good.
The Panama cap's good too.
Good too.
Back to business. We go with How Deep Is Your Love, who's a last start winner. Invincible Sage is following him at the home turn. Flying Ace has just been racing without luck. Packing Treadmill, Paul, going to get a good run, and he does drop a lot in weight, 9 pounds less than what he carried this day.
Yeah, so he goes in, Packing Treadmill. I did like the win here of How Deep Is Your Love. He'd performed really well at Sha Tin, and then he sort of hadn't at Happy... he performed really well at Happy Valley, but he hadn't at Sha Tin until this day here. He'd run a couple of good races, but he had all the breaks here, and Brendan Abdullah rode him really well, and he managed to get up and win nicely. There's no reason why he can't go on with it. And the horse that ran second there was One Galaxy Patch.
It was indeed, who lines up in the Derby and has been terrific in a Group 1 since then. Also, Beauty Charge, we head back to Happy Valley now. This was a Class 2 race. He beats Tomodachi Kokoro. On the plus side for him, he's had one start in this grade and he ran third also behind Tomodachi Kokoro at the Valley, where he's got a good record, but he's a two-time winner at Sha Tin also.
Yeah, he is. So he comes off these Happy Valley runs. He's quite a versatile horse. He comes in with a good racing weight. And he won nicely. If he can put two together, if he repeats that, then yeah, sure, he's a good chance.
How Deep Is Your Love wins again?
I think he will. I've got him on top, How Deep Is Your Love. He's a horse on the up, I think, at the moment. Invincible Sage, now he's another one of these horses that hasn't won over the 1,200 metres, but has performed pretty well, so he goes in there for second. Flying Ace should get the race run to suit as stablemate of Invincible Sage, and Packing Treadmill will get that perfect run in behind, 2.897.
Race number 8, all done. The first leg of the late treble. 1,800 metres, the distance of race number 9 on a Sunday afternoon. And we've got the Best Peach, CP Brave, Natural Storm and Sweet Encounter all dropping down from Class 2. Columbus County has the visor off, the blinkers going on. Beauty Live goes up from the 1,600 to the 1,800 metres. Frentank's a last start winner. That was in Class 3. He carries £1 extra for the victory over Illuminous. And Nicholson returns a two-time course and distance winner, but it has been all down in a lower grade than what he races in race number 9, Paul, and Frentank's going to lead them up. Yeah, he generally leads in all his races. He's drawn a little bit wide, but he looks the leader in this, and it's a long run to that first bend. Sweet Encounter's been going forward in his last couple of runs. Majestic Victory likes to go forward as well. CP Brave is normally not too far away. Enigma did lead in one stage and ran really well, but I think he'll take some cover. Straight to Nick with the rider of his good mate. They've got a great record together. Packing Hurricane, it's Harry Bentley.
Harry, Packing Hurricane is a horse that you ride on the weekend. With it being Derby weekend, he's a horse who probably in another lifetime would have appreciated a Derby trip, but he's in good form. Mark McNamara summed it up beautifully last time. He said there's a bit of bromance going on, and it was another nice win for you and he.
Yeah, that's right. We've struck up a good combination and been able to get over the line in front on, I think, 3 occasions now. So, yeah, he's a horse I'm obviously very fond of, and he tries extremely hard.
He looked very good last time, Harry. I mean, he put it to bed quick and he ran away to the line. He was probably the most impressive win.
Yeah, it definitely was. I was quite surprised actually how easily he loomed up sides the leader and was able to put the race to bed. So, yeah, I think he's probably he's in good form. He's feeling well in himself, and hopefully he can go on from that.
Talking of form, I mean, on paper, the horse that ran 6th in that race was Simple Hedge. He's run well since and will line up in a Derby. So, it's looking pretty strong form.
Yeah, clearly that form is standing up strong, so that'll put him in good stead.
Had headgear on his last 3 starts. What's your overall assessment of that? Has he just sort of needed it a little bit?
I think, just getting a little bit older, he's maybe getting a little bit wiser and, just keeps his mind on the game and keeps him that bit more focused.
What he lacks in size, he just makes up in heart, doesn't he, this guy?
He does. I mean, if only this horse was that bit bigger, obviously carrying that heavier weight would be easier for him. But he's got a very big heart, and that's what you can ask for.
He's going to have to beat the following horses, Paul, which includes Sweet Encounter running 4th, the Best Peach 5th, CP Brave 6th. He had a perfect trip, CP Brave, and there was money for him, and he couldn't quite finish it off. Natural Storm, he raced wide, and he kept on, but he goes pretty much the same speed all day.
Yeah, he does. Look, the horse here, the Best Peach, he catches your eye every start. He gets back and he's always finishing off strongly, off a fast pace, off a slow pace. Look, I think he's due for a win, this horse. He's drawn 10, so he's going to get back once again. And you can just see him in those orange colours finishing off really well. Sweet Encounter, look, he's consistent as well. So I don't mind both these two in this race.
They go in that pair. What about Friend Tank? Can he go back to back? He promised so often. He'd been backed time and time again and just came up short. Wasn't Green Lamp this day, went off at 9.2. He does go out to barrier number 13, but it's a beautiful start point as we know the 1800 metres.
Yeah, up a couple of 100 metres as well. Look, he got the perfect run in this race and off a slowish pace and won well. It's again, he hasn't done it in the past. That's just a little query I have. Maybe he just needed the confidence and he can go on with it. He was there to be shot at, to be fair to the horse, but he kept on and he did win nicely. So we'll see if he can do it again. We'll see if he can put two together. I wasn't so sure, so I didn't put him in there.
He's had two starts over the 1800 metres for a couple of placings, but both of them were not on the turf track at Sha Tin. Peachy for you.
Going to go with I think he's due for a win, this horse. He's caught the eye in his last three starts, the Best Peach. Packing Hurricane looks the hardest to beat. We heard from Harry Bentley there. Sweet Encounter. I'm going to put Enigma in because there's a couple of really good runs from him and he comes in with 115 pounds. So I think he can prove off a lightweight. 1, 5, 4 and 13.
Karis Teaton for Tony Cruz to win race number 9 with the Best Peach. Derby Day wraps up with the final race being the 10th and it's over the 1400 metres and it is a Class 3. Amazing victories, a two-time course and distance winner. Green and White ran second behind Young Champion who's gone on to win since, with Green and White back on the 25th of February having that second placing. Fun Together's a three-time course and distance winner. Wider draw for Magnificent 9. Smiling Timer's first up. Patch of Theta makes his way into Class 3 for the first time. Big Red has placed 2 from 5 course and distance. And Saquin comes up with a wide draw again, Paul, with Aero Invincible coming up in grey with some good form next to his name. From that wide draw, Saquin will go forward and join Fun Together.
Yeah, Fun Together likes to go forward. I think Saquin might eventually cross him, but he might have to work to get there. Magnificent 9 can come across. Aero Invincible should get a good run along with Patch of Theta, Green and White, and Sunstrider. He didn't go too bad on debut. He should get a nice run from barrier 1.
He's in our first replay is Sunstrider. He ends up running 6th in this race, but it's a strong field, similar field to what he meets here. Fun Together leads, Green and White wider. Amazing victories always running on. Sunstrider, Paul, you mentioned his first start. He's trialled well since Tappy Valley.
Yeah, I'm going to make him the long shot in this because I think it's quite a wide open race. You can see him having to come sideways to get out. He took a while to clear traffic, and once he did clear traffic, he ran on strongly. Now, this was his first run on a good track. He'd won twice in Australia before he got here, but they were both on wet tracks. But it looked like he could handle this track with absolutely no problems. And I really like the way he stretched out at the end of this race. Green and White's going to be tough as well, obviously, and he'll be one of the favourites.
Magnificent 9 heads up the second replay. He ends up running second. He's had the 4 starts. He's placed in 2 of them. This, he was beaten a short head behind the very smart Blue Marlin. He does go from barrier 3 out to barrier number 11, though.
Yeah, that was just the query I had. He's got the wide draw to contend with. He's had his chances. This horse, he looked like he was loomed up to win here, but look, Blue Marlin did get him on the post in the end, managed to hang on there. So look, he's due. He's not too far away, but I just don't know with this race from barrier 11. That was just the query I had.
Zach has been riding Magnificent 9. He's gone with Green and White in this race too, so Brenton Abdallah takes over on Magnificent 9. Now the class uppers. We start with Patch of Theta, who'd done everything prior to winning the race. It was always going to be just a matter of time, Paul, before he was able to deliver that first win. It came at start 5. Can he back it up going up into Class 3?
Yeah, I think he can. I've included him. I think he's one of the main dangers in the race. Void Samurai was a last start winner and he's come out and run well once again, and you can see him always looked like he was going to get there, didn't he? So he did win a little bit cheekily in the end, this horse. So I think the rise and grade's not going to be a problem for him.
And the other one that we're going to look at is right down the bottom of the book, Aero Invincible. Ran second on debut behind Loyal Bobo and then further improved from a perfect trip. He comes here from behind the leader and he races away to beat Dream Pursuer by a length and a half. This is obviously a lot harder up in grade, less weight, but he looks to have an engine.
He does. Look, he drew both of his 2 starts. He's got to move out ever so slightly to barrier number 7 for this contest. Comes in with the lightweight though, and look, I think he's up to this grade as well. Loyal Bobo that beat him, I think, can win earlier on in the card. So, look, he definitely goes in as well. He's going well.
He's a member of the Pierrong stable, and Andrea Atzani, who's ridden him at his first 2 starts, does partner him again in the last. So the 2 up in grade go in. Where do they fit in?
Second and third for me. I'm going to go with value in this. The horse who went really well on his debut in Hong Kong, Sun Strider, he's drawn 1 with Blake Shannon. It'll be a big price, so he's on top. Patch of Theatre, Aero Invincible, second and third, and Green and White, who's been racing so consistently. 6, 8, 14 and 2.
A little bit different at the end of the race by race preview, with the Racing to Win replaced by the Derby Special this week. We're going to give you the best bets and the long shot on this section of the website. So, Paul, what is your best?
Loyal Bobo, look, I just think this horse is going so well at the moment. The 1400 metres, the step up was ideal for him, and we can have a look at that again. You can see him straight to the front over the 1400 metres, off a fast pace as well. He didn't give any of the horses a chance in this race, and he ran away and won well. We just talked in race 10 about Aero Invincible, and you can see him finishing off nicely, and then he came out and won his second start. So the form's been franked. He won with plenty in hand. He's up and grade, but he can definitely win again. So he's the best is Loyal Bobo, and he comes up race 6, number 1 for me. The long shot, as we talked about in the last year, is Sunstrider, race 10, number 6. We'll do a play as well. We're going to do it earlier in the card, and that's in race 3 with Full Credit, Lifeline Express, and Lucky Touch at QQP.
Another Hugh Bowman best bet, race 4, number 5, Volcanic Spark. Here he is last time over 1400 metres. He's well back turning for home, and the further they went, the better he looked. That's Voyage Samurai on the inside. He's done a good job in a couple of starts, and the last little bit he really does knuckle down and take plenty of ground off the first 2. First time 1600 metres, that looks a plus. He's going to have to go back, just hoping there is enough pace in the race for the swoopers to get them at the end. So Volcanic Spark comes up as the best bet. The long shot, race 8, number 7, Packing Treadmill. Good draw, loves the distance, 5-time course and distance winner Lyle Hewitson and Francis Loy. And we'll make the play. Race 4, 5 and 10, Volcanic Spark and Joyful Prosperity in a forecast. That is the race by race preview for Derby Day, Paul. Going to be a great day's racing.
Yep, really looking forward to this day, and I think there could be a little bit of an upset in the Derby.
All right, we will find out, but we will find out on Sunday, 12:45. A reminder, an earlier start for the first. Racing takes place on the A course. Enjoy your BMW Hong Kong Derby Day.